Good morning. Today I'm talking about how I manifested my dream life, aka van life and full-time travel. I am now talking to you from Brazil. I just drove over from Paraguay to Brazil and I'm in South America since 2 years about. I'm full-time traveling since January 2019. And sometimes I think about how the did I do that? Like I was in a position that was impossible to think about to have a full-time traveler life and even more a van life, to live and travel in a van. So recently I just wanted to find out for myself how I did that and how I manifested it, because there are other dreams I have now that I want to manifest. So of course I want to reproduce that energy and that manifesting energy that I had to manifest this life that I live now. So of course I was journaling and I know a lot of tools how to manifest your life and how to manifest your goals, and I'm really aware of that we manifest everything that is on the outside, because everything on the outside is just a reflection of what we have inside. So here we are not only talking about fulfilling your dreams, but also that everything that happens to you on the outside, like the people you meet, the situations that happen, the good and the bad ones, it's always something that you have first on the inside before it will show you on the outside. Okay, but today we are talking about fulfilling dreams, fulfilling goals, having these amazing projects and really reach them and really live them. Good. I journaled and I found out that I did some things that I saw that if I do them, I most probably can fulfill my dreams, because it also showed in other ways, in maybe smaller ones. Recently, I manifested so many stuff, so many people in my life, that I really had to check out what is this thing, like how did I do it? What's the difference between one thing that I manifested and something else that that did not manifest yet? Okay, so let's talk about the first thing. And this may seem a bit contradictory to the usual manifesting rules. And for me, it was that dream I felt and I thought it's nearly impossible. Nearly. Okay, maybe you need a bit more context. I was living in a normal and working a normal corporate job, life in Switzerland. Everything was pretty normal. I did not have a lot of money, really. Maybe you think, oh, she lived in Switzerland. It was in this rich, was born rich, but that's not the case for me. So I had barely money. I was working 9 to 5, and I really hated the way I was living. It was just not for me. And I remember scrolling through Instagram or somewhere else on the internet, and saw these van life pictures. And for me, having a van and living in a van and traveling in a van was that dream. Like this for me means freedom and traveling, and well, for me this was the best. And so, but now to come back on that point number one is that I thought it's nearly impossible because, listen, I did not have a license too. So, and the boyfriend to that time that I was together, that we lived together, he really did not want to travel. For him, traveling was not in his wish list. So I was sitting there watching these van life pictures of other people and thought, okay, this is my dream. I want to live like this, but it's nearly impossible. Like how? How should that be possible? And I think this is one of the biggest secrets. And maybe the movie The Secret did not tell us. And the secret is that you have that dream and that wish that you want to fulfill, but as you think that it's nearly impossible, you really forget about the house, because you think if you think something is nearly impossible, the next question in mind is how? Like how should that be possible? And this is one of the most important things in the law of attraction, is that you don't know the how. It's not important the how. Important is that you know what you want, not how you get there. And so having that feeling of that it's nearly impossible helps you in that case, because then you do not think about the how, because you have no idea how it should work. And so, yeah, I hope this is, you could understand what I mean. If it's not understandable, please ask me in the comments, and I will explain it in more detail, of course. Okay, so I thought this is nearly impossible, but still kept that dream. I really did not know how, and this was the secret. Don't know how, but know your dream, know your end result. What I also did was, like the second thing I did was I daydreamed about it, but not too often. Like I was not really thinking about it all the time. I was just thinking about it sometimes. I was, as I told you, I saw these pictures, I saved them, I took screenshots. I looked, oh, what kind of van would I buy? What would be the one that I would like? Like what pictures would I take? Because I love taking pictures. So what pictures would I take? What color of the van would be nice? What would I love to have inside? Would I need a kitchen, a bed, a toilet? What is it that I really would like to? And I just daydreamed about it sometimes while I was working. And I was watching these pictures and just daydreamed, but just a bit, not too often. It was just sometimes during the day when I had time or when I was doing it. And I kept this feeling of, wow, this is really amazing. This would be really amazing. Look at how beautiful that kind of life is. So the second is, I daydreamed about it. So in other words, I visualized. Good. And at the same time, really important is that I was not too cut off, like I was not too extreme with my daydreams. I was not too, now I can't remember the word in English, I will put it if I remember it later. I kind of let go of the dream because I felt it as it was so impossible, nearly impossible, that I was not thinking, oh God, I have to fulfill it, I have to fulfill it, I have to be there, I have to do this, I have to do this. I was just dreaming about it and just let it go. Because it was a dream, and so it was not that serious, kind of. I was serious that I want to change my life. I was serious about that I did not want to continue my life like I was living. But I was not that hung up, I think is the word, to have that van life. I was like, oh, I need a van. I need to live like this because, yeah, I'm only thinking about this. So how do I get that money? How do I get this? How do I get a driver license? How do I get maybe someone who wants to travel with me? Or how do I go there alone? And where do I go? And where do I get the money from? And so I was not that hung up. I was just dreaming about it. And I was maybe, yeah, the goal was just to change my life, but I did not know how. Okay, so we already have 3 things. Remember, the first was I thought it was nearly impossible. That brought me to not thinking about the house. Really important. I just had the end result. Second, I was daydreaming, visualizing that van life, the living in the van. And I was not that hung up with the dream. I was not constantly thinking about how and what can I do about it. Then the fourth is that I still did some steps in the right direction. I was not that constantly thinking about it, but I was sure that I wanted to change my life, as I told you. And so I did these small steps in that direction. I was informing myself, how can I change my life? I was reading blogs. There was more blogs than videos. To that time, I was, reading blogs about how people started to live full-time traveling, started to have a remote job, started maybe also to live in a van. And I was just doing some steps in the right direction. What was I doing more? It's not in the beginning, like that beginning that I told you I was working that corporate job and just watching the pictures. That I was really on a I would say, at the bottom, and so it means no money. The boyfriend that really did not want to live another life like this, like another life that we were living. No driver license. I was just at the bottom, and then from there on, it went better and better. And I always took that small steps in the right direction. I eventually broke up with my boyfriend because of other reasons, of course, not only that reason. I changed the job. I lived somewhere where I could earn a lot more money. I kept my dreams. I always knew I will live differently. I will live differently, and so I did that. Yeah. And when I met my new boyfriend, like some years later, not years, maybe a year later, I short later I just told him, it's amazing to be together, but I have a dream. I want to live differently. I want to leave Switzerland. I want to maybe also live in a van or travel or just have other experiences. And so if you want to do that with me, let's start now to save money, to find all the ways how we can live that life. And the good thing was he had the same dream, so I manifested him with these dreams as well, and we started. And so we were always near to our dreams. So we took mini steps, and we decided we will live that life and took the steps in that direction, but still not being too hung up on that van life. Good. So there were 4 things. And before I talk about the 5th and last point that that for me is, I only found out about recently. I had that epiphany that this was one of the most important points and steps to manifest my dreams. I want to give you 2 other examples how I manifested 2 things just recently. And that I used these points without knowing. So I was not conscious about it, but I used them. And so I found out that these are the things that are really crucial to manifest your dreams. So one was, we were traveling. We had, of course, all this pandemic stuff. We were stuck in Argentina. And I was dreaming about having meeting again people and be with people who are spiritual as well, and that I can talk about crystals, about tarot, that I can read them the cards, that we can just have the same interests. And I did not have them for years, for at least 2 years, and I just wished so much to meet that kind of people. But believe me, it was nearly impossible, because the only people we met were not like this. I did not know how I can fulfill that. I did not know how can I find these people, because we were constantly traveling from one place to the other, so we did not stay in one place where I could find new friends. I was not too hung up on the idea. Of course, it was really a dream and a wish from my heart. But I thought, okay, let's go. Like, it is my dream, but if it's not working, it's not working, okay. And I did still small steps in the right direction. I looked online if I could find some spiritual people or some healers in some places where we were traveling to. And it happened that one day we were invited from another traveler, and then we went to this house where he was living to that time. He was standing with his van to that time. And then I arrived to that house, and his friend who had that house it's an Ayurveda doctor. So Ayurveda is already something more spiritual. And we entered in his house. He said hello, and I saw his house, and he had crystals. He had oracle cards. He had all these books, all these amazing spiritual books. And believe me, I began crying. I had tears and looked at him. I said, I wished for you. I wished for exact this. And instead of staying one night for this invitation, we stayed 5 months. And I spent 5 months with him and all these spiritual people he had around and the healers, and it was just amazing. We left that place, and now we come to the second thing I manifested, with also about people. And it was, okay, I met the spiritual people, but I would love to have or to experience like a woman circle. Just for once, just to feel that again. And so we were continuing traveling, we changed country, and the same, it was nearly impossible. I did not know how I can fulfill that. I dreamed about it, I daydreamed about it, but just small moments. I was not too hung up on the idea, and I did some small steps. I was looking for healers and spiritual people in that area where we were traveling through. And what happened? We went to a restaurant, and I saw this picture of a woman, and she was a coach, a spiritual coach, and did things that I do too. And then I just texted her and said, "Hey, want to hang out?" And she said, "Yeah, absolutely." And Saturday, like 2 days later, I have a circle, a woman's circle. Do you want to come? Do you want to join? I said, "Of course. This is what I was dreaming about. It's what I wanted to manifest." And these were the things that I really used every time that something manifested. Sometimes really fast, and sometimes, because I was not that aware of it, it took longer, like the van life. Okay, and now the last point that is really crucial. It's so crucial, and it's something that you have to become aware of, and it's not that easy. And it is made a big difference, and I see it to the things that I'm not manifesting yet. I do this mistake. And it is. The mistake that I'm doing is that I wake up in the morning and think, oh, it's not manifested yet. I don't have it in my life yet. And this is really stupid. Okay, if you want to manifest something, so the point number 5 is to not think about that you don't have it in your life yet. Because if it's not in your life today, it doesn't mean that it will be in your life tomorrow. And so this is really important, because this is about where you put your focus on. If you think about, oh, it's not in my life yet, then you put your focus on the scarcity, on the it's not there. So it's really important to forget that thought that it's not in your life yet, and keep your thought on the goal. Keep your focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm doing this already. Of course, I do my visualizations, I do my affirmations and everything in the right direction, in the direction of what I want. So I was focusing on what I want. But these thoughts in the morning when I woke up and thinking, oh, it's not there yet. And these kill everything. You put your focus on the wrong point. And of course you can doubt sometimes, you can worry sometimes. That's normal, and it will not kill your manifestations. But you have to really be aware of how many times a day you feel and you think about that you don't have your goal reached yet, and then change that. Really forget that you don't have it yet, because it will come. If you do these 5 points, it will manifest in your life. Of course, there are other limiting beliefs in you and everything, and I will talk about these in other videos, but try these 5 things and you will see a big difference. It's all about being aware of what you're doing and what you're thinking. Thoughts become things. This is law of attraction. This is manifesting. But if you go with these 5 things, don't think about the house, visualize, daydream, don't know how to reach it, don't get too hung up on that and on that result. Do steps in the right direction, and don't focus on that it's not in your life yet. Oh my God, I love to talk about this topic so much. I remember seeing in these Facebook groups some people who ask, if you need to talk about one topic for 30 minutes without preparing yourself, what could you talk about? And I was always answering, it's the law of attraction. Like, I love to talk about this so much. And this is what I did now, and I will do it in the future too. I hope this was really helpful for you. Please let me know what you need more from me about this topic and other topics. I'm a spiritual coach, and I would love to help you to fulfill your dreams and just be happier in life, and be happy about what you see on the outside, because it is a reflection of what you have on the inside. And now don't forget to watch this video next. Yeah, and I see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Bye.